Hey gang, it's been a while. So first off, apologies for not addressing you guys first about why I and Jack Yak had to take a back seat for a bit in the GameFed schedule. The short version is my family had a scare with cancer. This basically meant due to new commitments, I couldn't guarantee the show's quality or it appearing on time, which wasn't acceptable to me. So yeah, I'm back. Kind of. Today we're going to be talking about microtransactions. I know, let's just get it out of the way, alright? So, Shadow of War has released, and the world hasn't ended. But let's just say our faith in AAA studios is a little worn down, and customers across the internet have been raising their voices against the injustices of paid content keeping them from their game. Now before I go any further, and before I get the internet mouth breathers on my case, rest assured I understand your point. Video games are supposed to be fun. Having the optional perks that microtransactions guarantee in games such as Shadow of War can really sting. That said, I wasn't sure I agreed with all the points I saw, but I didn't know if I had anything original to say on the matter. But the straw that broke the camel's back for me was catching up on the topic and finding this perler. Okay, let's ignore the fact that Rolling Stone hasn't had its finger on the pulse of popular culture in decades, if ever, and address the comparison they are running between PlayerUnknown Battleground and Fortnite. I did a video about these two companies building tension and potential lawsuit, and you can watch that here. This article's main concern, however, is how microtransactions are affecting our comparisons of these virtually identical games. Bluehole got PUBG off the ground by selling $30 early access versions of the game, and has upheld a social contract with early buyers to keep building the game as if in full-time development. There's a lot of pretentious language in here, but the short version is, how do we compare the game's success if they both have different microtransactions and or early access? Ooh. Okay, first off, PUBG and Fortnite aren't the same. Fortnite has a mode in it that shares the same genre. Portal is not a Doom ripoff. Metroid is not a Castlevania ripoff. Sly Cooper is not a Mario ripoff, okay? Second, how we compare them is actually an interesting question, but let's look at Overwatch and Battleborn as a comparing comparison. Both have upfront prices, both have microtransactions, Battleborn's further downfall sadly, and I think we can tell who's the winner in that race, right? That said, if we're comparing two games and one is free to play and the other isn't, that may be a tad more complicated to compare, but does that really mean all microtransactions should go the way of the Virtual Boy? Quote,
"They hostage your time up front."
That's a good soundbite there, article, but yeah, nah. Every game requires you to spend time to get a thing you want. Sometimes game designers implement that in shitty ways. Extra credits did a whole thing on Skinnerbox game design, which I will link below, but mostly it's just standard design. For it to be otherwise would be like playing the first Zelda and getting a treasure every time you found a hidden room. Sounds pretty freaking boring to me.
There isn't a version of microtransactions that's acceptable anymore.
No. False. Look, I get it. If you paid money up front, you want your content given to you and you want it now. You might feel put out that you're being asked for more money, but that's the key word here. Asked. No one is forcing you to grab your credit card and punch in your details. No one is blocking content from you that you can't receive from spending time in the game like any other game you might play. And if they are, raise your voice, spread the word, and don't let that crap stand. You have my blessing. And finally, if you have a problem with microtransactions in a game that is free to play, piss off. You have no claim at all to being upset if the developers and publishers want compensation for their work. I just picked up a new toilet game called Weekend at the Himalayas, which you should totally play by the way. Totally free and super fun. There's ads in it, however, and they offered taking those away permanently for $1. And I paid it. I play now doing my morning deuce ad free. That was my call, and I'm not gonna get mad about that. And if you do, grow up. G'day guys, Jack in Action here, and thank you so much for watching this episode of Jack Yak. This series couldn't exist without you or your comments, so if you have suggestions, hit me up down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe as we upload weekly gaming content, and be sure to hit that like button. That's been it for me. Take it easy, and I will see you on the internet.